Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to the Lord.
A man named John was sent from God. He came for testimony, to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He was not the light, but came to testify to the light. And this is the testimony of John. When the Jews from Jerusalem sent priests and Levites to him to ask him, "Who are you?" he admitted and did not deny it, but admitted, "I am not the Christ." So they asked him, "What are you then? Are you Elijah?" And he said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" He answered, "No." So they said to him, "Who are you, so that we can give an answer to those who sent us? What do you have to say for yourself?" He said, "I am the voice of one crying out in the desert, 'Make straight the way of the Lord,' as Isaiah and the prophets said." Some Pharisees were also sent. They asked him, "Why then do you baptize if you are not the Christ, or Elijah, or the prophet?" John answered them, "I baptize with water, but there is one among you whom you do not recognize, the one who is coming after me, whose sandal strap I am not worthy to untie." This happened in Bethany, across the Jordan, where John was baptizing. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. I don't remember if it was this Mass or another one, but last week I told you I was going to preach about different sayings. And one of my mom's sayings was, "Things are so good, they're boring." And so I talked about that. And I said, I've also found out over the past 9 years as a priest, you got to be careful what you preach for, because you just might get it. And so that last couple of weeks ago when I preached about toilet paper, right? I said, life is too short for cheap toilet paper. Sure enough, this week, somebody rolls in with a gift bag and all dolled up with nice paper and everything, and then a great big 6-pack of ultra soft Cottonelle toilet paper, and a toilet roll that when you plug it into your toilet roll holder, it plays Christmas music and makes tooting noises. So I'm going to start preaching about bourbon if things don't get much better. And there's another saying. It's the saying we've all heard before, is it's always darkest before the dawn. And that is true figuratively, and it's true metaphorically. And I think if we think about what we've been going through over the past year with the COVID and with the election, man, we are looking for some light, right? We are looking for that dawn, for that sun to rise. And so it's just, because you're seeing all the news about the vaccines going out, right? So you're starting to think, oh my gosh, maybe we're just really getting close, and you can start to hope. I mean, I was just trying to remember what it's like to eat in a restaurant with somebody you know and have people next to you. It's just, the whole thing is just, we've forgotten so much over the past year of what our life used to be. I was baptizing a kid the other day, and then his big brother, when they took their masks off, it was just a family so they could take a picture. The kid was so scared he was holding his nose, and that's just, so I want to see the dawn. I want to see this, all of us want to see this thing end so we can get back to the normal. And so that's why on Gaudete Sunday, that's why we celebrate, that's why we wear these different color vestments, because that is the color of the sun right before the dawn. It goes from black to kind of dark blue, and then it just kind of rises. I don't know how many of you spend much time in the woods, but if you've ever gone hunting, and then you got to go in, especially if you're going to go deer hunting, you got to hike in really early when it's still dark because you don't want to make any noise, you don't want to be seen. And then you get up in your blind or in your tree stand, and you just sit there. It's cold. It's really cold if you don't dress right. And then the sounds are all just kind of weird, and then you don't really notice the sun. It's not like you flick a switch and sun comes on. It's just so subtle and so gentle, and everything just kind of looks a little different. You start to see a little more light, and I look out there, I'm like, there's a deer right in front of me. And then the sun comes up a little more, and it's a squirrel right here on top of my tree stand, right? It's like my depth perception was off, everything was off, so I shot the squirrel. No, I didn't shoot the squirrel. But then the sun comes up and everything comes alive, right? That is what we're looking for, right? We're looking for that for ourselves to get out of this whole COVID thing, but more importantly, that's what we're waiting for in Christmas, right? We're waiting for the dawn of the Son of Man, S-U-N, Son of Man, or the S-O-N of Man, the Son of God. That's what we're looking for, the rising of that sun. And that's such a beautiful thing for us to focus on. And that's why we have this Gaudete Sunday. Well, there's another saying that my old boss used to say, and I've adapted it over the years. And he would say, the only thing that goes away if you ignore it are your teeth. Pretty good, boss. Always use that. Then I adapted it, and I said, well, because think about it, maybe that's not the only thing. The only thing that goes away if you ignore it are your teeth and your girlfriend, right? Or your wife or your husband. Ignore them, they might start to go away too. But I've added something else onto it. The only thing that goes away, one of the things that goes away if you ignore it, your teeth, your girlfriend, and your faith. Right? Your faith is like a fire, right? That's why we have so many candles. That's why candles are so big in the church, and fire and flame. It's because your faith, just like a fire, it needs to be fed, it needs to be nourished, right? It's one of those things that brings us joy, brings us happiness, brings us safety, brings us food. It's the same thing with our spiritual life. If you don't feed your spiritual life and your faith, it will decay and decline. And then you'll find out, then you'll forget what you ever had, right? You'll forget that you even had that faith because it has to be nourished. But there's something else that will go away if you ignore it. And that's your church. I'm not talking Big C Catholic Church. I'm not talking the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. That, as we know, will always be here, right? It will be here because the gates of hell will never prevail against the church. But ask your friends who are from Philadelphia or from Boston, from Chicago, the churches that they grew up going to, the parishes they grew up attending, the ones where they played basketball, the places where they had their first dances, the places where they got confirmed, places where they went to school. Never thought they'd go away, but they do. Right? They might go away. They might get combined. And they're all so upset when it happens. I can't believe you're closing Our Lady of Perpetual Motion Church. But what happened? It's because people let their faith go away. They ignored it, right? And we're suffering from some of this right now because of the COVID. Right? If you look in here, 11:30 Mass has always been a very packed Mass. You would look to your left and look to your right. You'd be elbowing somebody right next to you. And look at it today. I mean, look at this. We're half full. We're basically running about a third full from where we were this time last year. I understand that. I mean, that's why we got the live stream. Thanks be to God that we had a donor that enabled us to put this in, so the folks at home can watch and can be involved and try and keep their faith going. But think about you folks at home, right? Think about when you first started watching. This was all novel. People would post on Instagram and on Facebook. They'd all be sitting there in their Sunday church clothes, candles lit, and watching the Mass. About 2 or 3 months later, you see pictures of them sitting in their pajamas, eating cereal, watching Mass. It's okay. I'm just glad you're watching. You guys, no eating and no pajamas at Mass, okay? You're here. Right, I know. But what also has happened, what's also declined, not just the attendance, but our offertory. This is stewardship. This is our stewardship week, and normally we'd be passing out envelopes and golf pencils and be encouraging you all to renew your stewardship forms. And that's what I'm doing today. But this is real deal right now. Last year, we're doing great. I mean, this is the same parish, 25 years ago, built up from nothing, and then last year, 2 years ago, paid off the note on the church. Right? You paid off your church. But now we're 10%. 9%, I like to round up. My accountant doesn't, but I do. We're 10% down in offertory from where we were last year. And for us, that's significant. That's a paid salaried position for us. The only thing that can go away if you ignore it is your parish. We run on a shoestring budget. We don't have a lot of extras, right? Your offertory, your generosity, your stewardship keeps these lights on. Keeps the air conditioning on, keeps me fed, keeps Father Alex and Father Jorge fed. And they eat a lot, so you got to make sure you keep them fed. It keeps our religious education programs going. It keeps our youth programs going. Keeps the people. It keeps the maintenance of the parish and the upkeep of the parish going. It keeps people working in the office who what their job is to be. You are their customer. And talk to your friends in Philadelphia and Boston, Chicago. Just because it was always here doesn't mean it's always going to be here. Now, I'm not saying we're getting ready to close the doors, but we can't run at a deficit like this. We just can't. Anybody who's worked in the business world knows you either increase your revenue or you decrease your expenses. We're fortunate. We're fortunate. We have 3 priests in this parish. Most size parishes, this size in a large city, 1, maybe 2, and you've got 3 here. So again, increase revenue, increase offertory, or decrease expenses. And the only place that we have expenses to cut is our personnel. Now, we don't want to let anybody go. We want to make sure that we're able to do for you what you need. We want to keep that light burning brightly. We want to keep you encouraged. We want to let you know that we are here for you as church, that you are here for each other. Like I said, the same people who built this church from a warehouse to this parish. We can't forget that, people. We cannot. We cannot forget that we have to keep things going. So I'm asking you, if you continue to give, thank you very much. Give a little more. If you have been holding back because of some uncertainty, I understand. I understand that. But think about what you can give, right? Nobody's ever gone broke for contributing to a charity. And we are a charity. We are to your church, I promise you. And for those of you who haven't given, for those of you who are at home and just haven't been coming and haven't been dropping off an envelope, right there on the website it says donate, how to donate now. Go to the website, send us a check, send us cash, send us a money order. I don't care. Send me some more toilet paper. I don't care, right? But we're stewards. This is a stewardship parish. It means all the stuff that you get to enjoy, the religious education, the ongoing education, the youth groups, all that stuff, we don't charge you for. It comes out of the offertory and from the adult social. And guess what? We didn't have the adult social this year. So let's keep our parish going. Let's keep our parish burning brightly, and so that we never ever have to say, do you remember All Saints Parish? Do you remember how vibrant and how big it was? I wonder what happened to it.